Hi guys, today we're going to talk a little about sliding baits. Sliding baits for big fish is still very popular in South Africa. A lot of guys don't like doing it, but that's definitely one of my favorite ways of catching a big fish. For those guys that don't know what sliding a bait means, it's basically a simple way where you cast a line out with a sinker only, and it anchors your line out there. You basically clip your trace onto your line and you let it slide down the line to your sinker. Obviously it's a little bit more complicated than it sounds, but not that difficult if you know the basics. When you want to do sliding, your basic setup should consist out of the following: a nice heavy rod, a multiplier reel with nylon. A lot of guys think you can slide with braid, but you cannot slide with braid. Braid is just too direct and too hard, so that slide can't work its way down the line. You could maybe try and slide a live bait that might swim with a slide down the braid, but it's not advisable. It's not the right way to do it. The best way to work with a slide is with a multiplier reel and nylon. If you want to cast with a coffee grinder reel with nylon, it will also work, but you're going to have a problem getting the amount of line on it that you need. And then you've got your nylon coated little snoot, which got a little stopper ring at the end. That's where your slide's going to stop against when you're sliding. And then from there, piece of nylon and your nice strong grapnel sinker, which acts as an anchor for your line. Then obviously you've got your slide attached to your trace and your hooks, which you're going to clip onto your line and take your bait down to the stopper swivel or stopper ring at the bottom. Okay, I've noticed a lot of guys that are new in fishing and trying to slide have a problem putting on the clip. It's very simple. Little slide clip just unclips. You wind your line through it till you see it's nice and free, facing the right direction, and clip it back on, and then you can start sliding your bait. Alright, so just a few technical issues when it comes to sliding, which will help you to make your sliding easier. Something that does happen with a slide, if you do it incorrectly, the slide might not go right down to the bottom, and if a fish picks it up and runs either to the left or to the right, you might get your nylon burnt off by the slide. So it's critical to get your slide right down to the bottom, to that little stop ring, or as close as possible to it, so when you have that fish picking up, it pulls that slide to the stop ring and you won't get a burn off. Now, what could cause burn-offs? The number one thing that will cause a burn-off is if your slide doesn't go all the way down. The second thing I've noticed guys do, they're not holding their nylon tight enough. So when the wave hits your bait while you're sliding out, it'll throw it over and it'll wrap over your bait. So one of the key things when sliding is have a good grapnel sinker that sits, and you want to do everything under a lot of pressure. So you don't want to do it with a soft nylon. You're going to have to press on your rod, and when you shake your bait, that nylon's going to be quite stiff. As soon as you slacken up and you make a loose nylon, you might have a wrap and your slide will get jammed there, and a fish picks you up and just breaks the nylon or burns you off. So a few little tips for the guys that want to slide, how I do it. While I can still see the slide, I normally just take the rod and I give it hard shakes like this. So I don't give it long shakes, hard little shakes, so you got your tip flicking backwards and forwards quite a lot, and that'll get that slide moving right down to the water. As soon as I can't see my slide anymore, as soon as the slide goes underwater, I'll normally stand back a bit, and then I'll start doing long sort of strikes. So you get that slide to move quite a long distance every time you pulling your rod up and down and moving a slide about half a meter. And just a rule of thumb for me, I do that about 100 times under tension, as I said, and then I'm normally quite confident that my slide is right down the bottom, and if I get a bite, the chance of getting burnt off is very slim. You've always got to look at the currents. For instance, if you've got a current coming from the right to the left, you don't want to be sliding up towards the right, because then you're going to slide into the current. So your bait will go down, but as soon as you leave it, it'll start moving back up your line, and then you've got the same problem with burns off and losing fish. So as I said, with the current from right to left, you want to throw out a little bit to the left, stand a bit to the right, so you add an angle to the sea, but then the water will actually help you to get your slide right down to the bottom. And as soon as you're confident, you've done your 100 shakes or 120, how many you want to, and you're confident your bait's down there, don't move and go stand in line with your nylon. Keep that angle, so just stand a little bit, 10 meters to the right of your sinker, and the water will constantly push that bait down and it won't come back up your line. Alright, then another quite important factor about sliding is after you've got your bait in the water and you're confident your slide's down, is to always keep tension on your rod while you're waiting for the bite. Don't slacken up on your line, because as soon as you slacken up in your line, you might just cause a wrap at the bottom there, and you get the bite and you break off. Then the last and the final thing for me is the bite. When getting a bite on slide, never ever strike. For some reason the slide might not be right at the bottom, it might still be on the nylon, and if you get a bite and you start striking, you might just burn off your nylon on the slide. So all you do is just keep tension. If you get slack line, pick up your slack. As soon as the fish turns and goes away, you just hold tension till you can't hold the spool anymore. Let go of the spool, and if a fish starts taking line, you can just lean back into the rod a bit, set the hooks, and that'll be 100%. Alright, well, we've spoken about sliding, and now the proof's in the pudding. We put our slide out the correct manner, use the currents, use everything in our favor, and we've hooked into a fish. Not a very big fish, but I'll take any fish, just for the fun of it. Alright, let me just chat you guys through the setup here. We've got a Fathom 40 reel, loaded with 055 monofilament, and then I've got the Italian 7 to 9 ounce multiply rod here, strong rod, not a backbone, perfect for the job.
Shut up and sit down.
Alright, we've got this fish right on the lip here. Got a funny little bank in the front, so I've got to get it over. I'm going to drop in front of us. Hard work this. Alright, here we go. We saw the black tips and we thought it was a black fin or black tip, but it turns out to be a nice, beautiful reef shark, beautiful colors, pitch black tips. So let's have a close look at him. There we go, the beautiful little reef shark. Look at the markings, has pitch black tips, olivey green type of color, and it's really one of the beautiful sharks of the ocean. Not that strong, generally they're not that feisty. This one fought nice and hard for its size. I think it just used the currents a bit, but a lovely fish to catch, and absolutely stunning specimen. Right, little male, let's go put you back in the water.